1857, a year when India stopped whispering and started roaring. A year when ordinary soldiers, forgotten queens, elderly landlords, farmers, craftsmen, fakirs, tribals, people with nothing but courage rose together against an empire that believed it was invincible. For a century, the English East India Company had squeezed India dry, draining its wealth, breaking its rulers, and crushing its pride. But beneath the silence, the ground was trembling. The doctrine of lapse became a silent weapon. Satara, Nagpur, Jhansi, kingdom after kingdom swallowed without a battle, without honor. Kings dethroned, princes reduced to beggars, and a wounded nation shimmered in rage. Taxes shot up like arrows. Farmers watched their fields crack under famine and debt. Indian weavers, once the finest in the world, were forced to cut their own thumbs to protect the British cloth. Every village, every market, every workshop felt the noose tightening. And the Indian soldier, the Sepoy, the very backbone of the British Empire, was fed British orders, British insults, British injustice. Paid less, respected even less. Then came the spark, a whisper that turned into wildfire. The new Enfield rifle cartridges, greased with cow fat and pig fat. You had to bite it with your own teeth. To the Hindus, it was a sin. To the Muslims, it was an insult. To India, the final slap in the face. 10th of May, 1857, Meerut. The day the volcano finally erupted. 85 Sepoys refused the cartridges and were chained in front of their own comrades. Night fell, but the rage did not. By dawn, the prison gates were shattered. The rebels were free, and the march to freedom thundered across the plains. They rode to Delhi, the heart of Hindustan, and Delhi answered. Bahadur Shah Zafar, old, gentle, poetic, was thrust into destiny. In the Red Fort, he was crowned the Emperor of a rebellion, the Emperor of India. For the first time in a century, the Mughal flag soared in the wind. Delhi didn't just celebrate. Delhi awakened, and the fire spread. This was no mutiny. This was a subcontinent rising. In Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal, betrayed, exiled, abandoned, stepped forward as a leader, forged in crisis. She defended her people, reorganized her troops, and turned Lucknow into a blazing fortress that shook the British confidence. Nana Sahib denied his grandfather's pension, chose battle over humiliation. At his side stood Tatya Tope, unpredictable, brilliant, a mastermind of guerrilla warfare. His maneuvers baffled the British generals, and he became a legend. And then came Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai, a queen with the heart of a warrior. When asked to surrender her kingdom, she answered with a sword. She rode into battle with her infant child strapped to her back. A mother, a monarch, a warrior fused into one. Her courage didn't just inspire India, it terrified the British. In Bihar, the unbreakable Kunwar Singh, 80 years old, yet fiercer than the men half his age, led charge after charge, defeating the British in battle after battle. His name became the war cry of the East. In Gwalior, the rebel forces united. A moment when independence felt close enough to touch, the fort fell. The British reinforcement struck back with brutality, and the dream slipped through blood-soaked fingers. Across Rajasthan, Rajput clans carved their defiance into history, cutting communication lines, driving out officers, and turning the deserts into battlegrounds. In Assam, Maniram Diwan and Piali Bora wove a secret rebellion, one that challenged the British deep in the northeast. Their martyrdom lit a flame that no execution could extinguish. And months before Uprising, one man had already fired the first spark. Mangal Pandey. His gunshots at Barakpur weren't just bullets, they were prophecy. The rebellion was heroic, but fractured. No single command, no command strategy. Some princes even joined the British out of fear, greed, or perhaps survival. The empire had the telegraph, railways, modern rifles, and an iron heart. By the 1858, the revolt was finally crushed. But the echoes shook the world. Because 1857 was not just a mutiny, it was India's first war of independence. A fire that refused to die. A fire that passed from rebellion to revolutionary. From 1857 to 1947. When India first started to believe in itself. When India finally became a free nation.
Thank you. If you like our content, follow our page and subscribe to our channel. Please share with us in the comments section any new topics on which we could create our videos.